At the beginning of the story, we see a girl in a car whose name is Kimberly. Kimberly was driving through the forests of West Virginia to shoot a reality show. At the same time, she was also talking to her manager on the phone, who was giving her directions to the location. A little further down the road, she comes across a fork and gets confused about which way to go. But her manager, using the directions on the paper he gave her, tells her to take the road that leads past a factory. So she starts heading that way. Now, as soon as Kimberly starts down that road, her manager's call drops because she has no signal on her phone. Just then, out of nowhere, a man crashes hard into her car. Kimberly gets really scared and quickly gets out of the car to check on the man. Kimberly prays along with him that he isn't dead, and her prayers are successful. The man isn't dead. He's still breathing, but as soon as Kimberly gets close to him, the man suddenly lunges at her and bites her, savagely tearing into her lip. Kimberly writhes in pain and tries desperately to escape, but just then, another man steps in front of her and grabs her, and this man is none other than Three Finger. He stands Kimberly up and brutally splits her into two pieces. After that, both of them each take a part of her body and walk away. After that, we are introduced to a retired colonel named Dale Murphy, who is hosting a reality show in the forests of West Virginia. The name of his show is Apocalypse. There were 6 people participating in his team, including Kimberly, who was on her way there but never made it because she fell victim to the cannibals along the way. Here we see a guy named Michael who was managing the show and was also its director. Everyone gets ready for the shoot, but Kimberly is nowhere to be seen. So Michael tells everyone that they'll go ahead and shoot the show without her. And he asks the other producer, Mara, to become the 6th contestant. She quickly agrees. Now, they set up cameras all over the jungle to keep an eye on everyone. And they also attach a camera to each participant. After that, the shooting begins. Dale gives everyone a strange task. They have to go into the jungle and find food. He divides all of them into different teams and then explains the rules of the show to them. After that, the show officially begins. Now here, in the footage from the camera they had set up in the RV, we see Neil, who is using the toilet at that moment. Suddenly, Three Finger appears from behind and slits Neil's throat, killing him instantly. Here, we see Dale, who is setting up his game in the forest. As he sits on his vehicle, he notices that someone has punctured his vehicle with an arrow, and then that person starts shooting arrows at him as well, but somehow he manages to save himself and runs to hide behind a tree. But just then, Three Finger tries to attack him with his axe. However, Dale dodges and pulls out his knife, throwing it straight at him, hitting him right in the chest. But Three Finger doesn't seem to be bothered by it at all. Suddenly, another cannibal appears from behind and knocks Dale out. The scene shifts. Here, Michael is filming his team, and through his channel, he wants to show the world much more than just survival. But Jack refuses to go along with this. He says, "I won't do anything like that because my family will also be watching this show." And with that, he walks away. But Elena didn't want to miss this opportunity because she wanted to be the most visible on the show. So, she tries to tempt Michael. Nina and Mara are given a task. Their task is to go to the river and complete it there. And that's exactly what they do. She quickly runs to the river, and Mara steps forward to complete the task. After that, she actually manages to finish the task. But just then, she also spots Michael and Elena together. And seeing this really breaks her because she was doing all of this just for Michael. She breaks down and starts crying. Nina tries hard to comfort her. Meanwhile, Amber and Jonesy spot a barbecue in the jungle, and seeing it, they think this must be where their task is. So the two of them pick it up and carry it away from there. But now Nina wanted to leave that place. Just then, on the way, she spots a house where she can make a call. She goes inside the house. Inside, she notices some strange pictures of people on the walls. There were a total of 4 people in those photos. They appeared to be a mother, father, sister, and brother, but they all looked quite menacing. As the two of them are looking at the picture, suddenly someone bursts in, screaming, and seeing the two of them, she gets scared because both the mother and daughter looked quite strange. The mother was pregnant, so she was experiencing labor pains. Her daughter helps her lie down on a table and delivers the baby right there. The baby looked very odd because the mother had given birth to a mutant child. Nina and Mara were watching them very closely, when suddenly the daughter noticed them and lunged in their direction. But the two of them quickly shut the door. However, from outside, the mother's daughter started breaking down the door, and all the windows were also being closed. They became extremely frightened, because now there was no way for them to escape from there. They had no idea what to do next. But with no other choice, they were forced to escape through the bathroom. After that, both of them ran away from there as fast as they could to save their lives. But her father spots them and, chasing after them, throws an axe that hits her straight on the head. Seeing this, Nina gets terrified and starts running away from there. That man, the little girl's father, comes over, pulls the axe out of Mara's head and starts chasing after Nina. But Nina manages to hide somewhere and tries her best to save her life. Meanwhile, on the other side, the child's mother arrives with a truck to pick up her husband, and she has also tied Mara to the top of the truck. She bites off Mara's finger and throws it away, and the finger lands right next to Nina. Seeing this, Nina composes herself, and once the two of them leave, she also escapes from there. Michael leaves the place and heads towards Harvey, leaving Elena behind. The mutant brother had been secretly watching the two of them for quite some time, when suddenly his sister arrives. Seeing him do this, she gets furious and starts attacking him. Elena tries to escape from there, but just then her sister grabs a knife and chases after her. She wounds her badly with the knife, stabbing her so many times that Elena dies right there on the spot. In the next scene, when Dale regains consciousness, he finds that someone has hung him upside down. Three Finger is standing in front of him, preparing his dinner by cutting up Neil, when suddenly the husband and wife arrive there with their truck. They place Mara's dead body there and then leave. Now, just as Three Finger is about to kill Dale, Dale attacks him and manages to free himself. Dale was not only strong, but also a brave soldier. That's why he takes on Three Finger, and the two of them start fighting each other. In the end, Dale grabs his gun and blows him away. Meanwhile, Michael gets into his van and starts checking all his cameras. But suddenly, the van starts moving on its own. Michael thinks that maybe Neil is the one driving the van, but we see that it's actually the mutant husband and wife inside the van, driving it. Then, they grab Michael and start beating him up brutally. In the next scene, Jack, Amber and Johnsy are happily enjoying a barbecue when suddenly Nina shows up, looking really scared. She tells them everything that happened and says that they need to get out of there as soon as possible. Johnsy thinks that maybe this is just another part of the show, so to him, it all seems like acting. But then, suddenly, Amber's eyes fall on the barbecue they've been eating for quite some time. When they all see that Kimberly's tattoo is on it, they're completely shocked because now they realize they've been eating Kimberly's leg all this time. Seeing this, everyone starts running away from there. They run towards their van, but when they get there, they don't see anything. After that, they all decide that if they want to save their lives, they'll have to run towards the paper mill. Dale also finds that house, and inside, he meets a man named Maynard. Maynard was the owner of the gas station in the first part of the movie, after which Maynard tells about there and these mutants. He tells him that these mutants are the result of inbreeding and the chemical waste coming out of the paper mill. And as soon as he realizes that Dale has killed him, Maynard attacks Dale and starts telling him that Three Finger was my son. Dale picks up a stick of dynamite lying there and attaches it to Maynard's back. It explodes with a huge blast, and his body is completely destroyed. After that, Dale starts preparing to fight all those mutants. Here, the four of them were searching for the paper mill when suddenly, from the forest, they hear someone screaming. It turns out to be a brother and sister. And as soon as they see everyone, both of them start chasing after them. Nina leaves the other three behind and runs away from there. The remaining three face off against them. They all fight back, beat them up pretty badly, and then manage to escape from there. While running away, Nina ends up falling into a pit. She tries really hard to get out, but she just can't manage it and gets stuck there. Nina was a selfish girl. She would always leave everyone behind in trouble and run away. But even so, Jack decides to go look for her. He tells Amber and Johnsy to head towards the mill together. He says they'll meet there, and then he goes off on his own to look for Nina. After that, he hears Nina's screams and manages to find her, then starts helping her out of the pit. But while rescuing her, he ends up spraining his shoulder. Just then, they hear the sound of a truck nearby, so they start to run away. As they're running, they end up near a waterfall, and right at that moment, his sister shows up, spots them, and starts shooting at them. Seeing this, both of them jump straight into the river. Amber and Johnsy are running when suddenly Johnsy gets caught in a trap. Amber tries to save him, but she ends up getting trapped herself. After that, the mutant father and son arrive on the scene. The boy's father tries to kill them both with his arrow, but his son says, "Dad, let me do it." So his dad hands the arrow over to his son. Then, with a single arrow, the son kills them both. Meanwhile, Nina and Jack finally make it to the paper factory after a tough journey. And there, inside a cupboard, they find a skeleton. It belonged to a little girl. Seeing the skeleton, Nina gets really scared. She thinks that maybe the little girl had hidden there to escape from the mutants. And after waiting for so long, she died right there. Frightened, Nina starts to run away from the spot. But Jack grabs her and says that Johnsy and Amber are on their way here. We should wait for them. There, the two of them notice a huge number of victims' vehicles, parked all around, so many that it was overwhelming. Their own RV van was there too. From inside, they could hear Michael screaming at the top of his lungs. Both of them rush forward to save him. When Jack goes inside, he's shocked to see Michael's live video. There, the child's mother, the mutant, brutally beats Michael. Here Jack realizes that this is a trap laid for those who get trapped in it, and they both catch them both. When Nina regains consciousness, she finds herself tied to the dining table, and Jack is hanging right in front of her. After a while, it's time for that family's dinner. Before eating, they all say a prayer. Their son starts forcefully shoving food into Nina's mouth. Here, we find out that this factory was actually their home. The mother throws the leftover waste body parts into a grinder. Dell is also there. He's witnessing everything. When Dale tries to get out, his movements make a noise. The noise alerts all of them. As soon as they hear it, they all start searching for him. After that, Dale manages to trap the mutant's brother and sister and blows them up with his dynamite. Then Dale reaches Nina and sets her free. After that, he also unties Jack. Just then, the mutant husband and wife arrive, and when they see their children blown to pieces, they go into a frenzy and lose their minds. The husband attacks Dale several times with arrows, but Dale is a tough guy, so he manages to hold himself together. The wife also throws a chain at Dale's neck, which wraps tightly around his throat. He starts bleeding heavily from his neck and dies on the spot. Nina somehow manages to escape from the factory with great difficulty. But by mistake, Jack ends up in the room with the grinder. The husband and wife reach there and try to throw him into the grinder. Nina hears Jack screaming. He starts yelling, and now she goes to help him. She bites his neck and tears out a chunk of flesh. And while fighting, Jack tries to push her husband into the grinder, which ends up cutting off one of his hands. Just then, his wife rushes in and pulls him out. But at that moment, Nina pulls a lever, causing a huge wooden log to swing into them and knock both of them into the grinder. Their bodies are shredded to pieces. After that, Nina and Jack get into a car and drive away from there. In the final scene, we see that Three Finger isn't actually dead yet. He's still alive, and he's feeding a deformed baby. And he's feeding it with Mara's finger, which looks pretty disturbing. And with that, the story comes to an end right here. Thanks for watching.